Welcome to a new daily top AskReddit video. Today's topic:
who is the most unexpected person you had sex with? My all-time college crush. Spent hours talking at a bar, just me and her. Her friend came up asking if she wanted a ride home with her. Crush said, "No, we're gonna go back to my house." My jaw dropped so low, it was a ridiculous move. So hot. Power move. Buddy got picked up hard by someone with mad game, lucky bugger. How does being God's favorite feel? A waitress after her shift ended. I had never met or even spoken to her prior to her serving me black coffee at like 11 p.m. Similar story with a flight attendant. I had an overnight layover. She rolled past me leaving the airport, asked me when I was leaving. I told her in 7 hours. She said, "Well, the flight agency booked my room here, so stay with me." I played it cool as we went to her room. I didn't know if she meant on the fold-out couch. It didn't mean the fold-out couch. So, you had an overnight layover and then you had an overnight layover. Do you work in an ad agency? He cries when he gets a Hershey bar. My friend's twin sister. You basically banged your friend. His friend had a weird tingling while it was happening. Plot twist, it was actually your friend the whole time. As a twin, he shares DNA with his sister. You should also remind him that you shared your DNA with his sister. Unexpected. Shit, my wife 3 weeks ago loudly crying. I too found it unexpected with this guy's wife last week. TBF, I expected it. Years ago I worked for a fairly high-end men's formalwear clothier. Every year we at management level would fly to California for a few days of conferences. Also in attendance one year was the guy who did the voiceover for our training videos. I'd never seen or met this guy and he had the most god-awful monotonous voice ever, perfect for corporate training videos. The last night there was always a drink fest. I caught glances with this really cute guy and started chatting. It turned out to be him. He took me back to his room. There wasn't anything boring about what followed, and I never looked at training videos the same way again after that lol. It would have been hilarious if he used the training video voice back in his room. True Lies style. French accented instructions. Who ordered this shit? Harry. Classmate from college while we were playing Crash Bandicoot. OOGABUGAH. She ooga on my bugger till I woe. Does oral count? My best friend knew I was having a bad day and she said go home, relax and have a few beers. I said I don't think that's gonna cut it. She asked what I needed to feel better and I jokingly said, about 6 beers, 10 grand, and a blowjob, or something like that. She said she could help with 2 of those things and about an hour later she showed up at my apartment with a 6-pack. Yo. I see the beer, but where the hell is my money? Quote, wow, she was able to scrounge up $10,000 for you in an hour. Nice. Me reading all the comments very deeply, thinking I've been too behind in this fucking world, frowning face. If it is any consolation, I give it a 50-50 shot for each comment that it's completely made up. And 95% of commenters aren't as hot as you imagine. A neighbor chick whose boyfriend stormed off one day because for some reason he thought she'd been fucking me. Up to that day I'd never done anything more than exchange pleasantries in passing with her. After he split she came over to apologize for his behavior. I had overheard the argument and introduce herself. Next thing I know I'm waking up in her big soft bed after an all-night romp. That boyfriend is a really powerful manifester. Awful nice of her to bring the bed with her. There was a girl at university I had hooked up with and wasn't overly interested in. But, she had the most comfortable bed and bedding. Like Egyptian cotton count. Also her room smelled amazing and she had this humidifier. Plus queen size extra length bed. 10 out of 10 sleeping experience. She'd invite me to watch a movie and I'd go over with the intention to fall asleep during the movie. It was like sleeping on a cloud. The Lowe's employee that helped me find some deck screws. It was the first time a girl asked me out. Ended up just being fuck buddies for a year or so till I moved out of state. Best ass I've ever seen in person. The Lowe's employee that helped me find some deck screws. Apparently she does. Did you find some deck in the end? No, just some cork. A coworker I never liked. We were forced to work together once. Turns out she is really nice to work with and talk to. One thing led to another and now we've been together for 13 years now. Okay, sorry, that one's actually pretty cute. This thread is for people to brag about their made-up stories. A Latino mom of 4 who was 20 years older than me. Best sex I've ever had. But the life that went along with it was a bit loco for me. 4 kids, Latina, mom, older, you rolled the dice hard. Guys, I'm gonna send it. Crazy and great sex are a natural combination. Not just a great combination, a linearly related correlation. If x equals loco and y equals great sex, as the variable x changes, the other variable y changes a proportional amount. This direct relationship doesn't have to linear in nature, but in this case it does. This function is also referred to as the crazy, hot matrix. A chick from school, we hated each other, but then she asked me if I wanted some weed, and I was like WTF, I went over and we fucked our brains out and several more times. I totally missed a hint a girl from school gave me. She literally told me smoking weed makes her horny. I'm like cool, me too sometimes. Dude, my crush told me that, and I did the same. Then she'd say, we should smoke sometime, and I still didn't get it. I'm dense. This hot manager at my company. She sat a couple of desks away from me, wasn't on my team, but we'd made eye contact a couple of times. Anyway, I go out drinking with my friends one night, and after I'm a few beers down, I head to the John to relieve myself. On the way back, guess who I see downing tequila shots at the bar? The liquor in my bloodstream emboldened me with the confidence to approach and greet her. She was pretty drunk too, because she sprung up and hugged me. She admitted that she was pretty depressed after this guy she was seeing just vanished into thin air. After talking for God knows how long, she says, by the way, I have this really good Chinese wine back at my place. Wanna check it out? We head back to her place, and no sooner than the door is latched, do we start furiously making out and taking each other's clothes off. Did you ever try the Chinese wine? How was it? A succulent Chinese wine. Removed. My best friend. Yeah, in my case, after being best friends 34 years, did not see that happening. WTF. After that specific number of years, it almost certainly happens. Look up Rule 34 inches to find out more about this topic of research. This chick in a bar. Way too hot for me. We've been married for 29 years, 2 kids. Met an extremely attractive woman at a park one day. Got to chatting. Developed a close friendship and connected. Fucked like rabbits for just over a year. Turns out she was a high-end and exclusive escort, and she had fallen for me. She's happily married with 2 kids now, and we're still friends. I am not an attractive guy, so having such an attractive woman find me in any way fuckable was astounding to me. Okay, but were you afraid you'd been running up a huge tab? I didn't find out until we'd been seeing each other for quite a while. Tears of joy. Sounds like you're an attractive guy. Grin. Physical beauty is only a small part of it, IMO. Plus, the more I like a personality, the more physically attractive someone is, and vice versa. So don't think you aren't. D. Had the biggest crush on this girl in high school, but we never had a conversation beyond random pleasantries since we were in completely different social groups. Fast forward a few years after graduation, I was going to Australia for a while, and a friend told me about this girl from our high school who was apparently living there now. So I randomly hit her up on Instagram, seeing if she'd like to meet up at all. Ended up spending the entire month with her, and we were hooking up pretty much the entire time. 17-year-old me would be so proud of 25-year-old me. Single dad, I babysat for woman. Shrugging. Medium light skin tone. He was 40, I was 24. I always had a huge crush on him, but never thought it could happen. How'd that go? Did he come onto you? Did he offer you extra money like those porn scripts? LMAO. Pretty sure she was stuck getting clothes out of the dryer. Gonna get roasted, but here it goes. My cousin. We were 17 meeting each other for the first time. I'm going to hell, and yeah, it's messed up, so no need to tell me that. But yeah, it was pretty hot. We never spoke again after. Roll Tide. Meeting them for the first time at 17 had a lot to do with it. Besides, in Saudi Arabia, 70% of marriages are between first or second cousins. I tried to resist. But my teenage lizard brain couldn't. And she definitely seduced me. She always wanted to cuddle. And kissed me out of nowhere. My friend's mom. Daisy's mom, she's got it going on. My probation officer. Pretty sure that's a crime. Yes, it's a felony in my state. Cheers. Story time. Once upon a time they fucked their probation officer. Manager of a different department who worked at the same company. She was a hardest on all her crew members, but I folded that Filipina in half and had her seeing stars. Filipina in half. A manila folder. Motherfucker. I had food in my mouth. Tears of joy. A squatter in my apartment building. No fucking way. Squatted all over it. You win. A classmate came over to my dorm to study for an art history test back in university. We hadn't really had much to do with one another during class, but out of nowhere she asked me if I wanted to study together for an upcoming test. I agreed, and had invited her over to my dorm. Since it was a dorm, there wasn't much space to study, so we were sitting together on my bed. She was sitting up with her back against the headboard, and I was half laying on my side, kind of curled up toward her so that we could see the same notes. At some point she started to run her finger along the back edge of my earlobe, which is a big turn-on spot for me. I did not clue in at all though, and said something dumb like, "Whoa, you probably shouldn't tickle me there." So she stopped and went back to studying. A few minutes later she starts with the slow finger rub on my ear again, so I thought maybe she didn't realize what I was talking about, so I said, "Seriously, you really shouldn't tickle me there. It's a bit of a special spot, and if you keep doing that sort of thing, I may try to jump your bones." So she stopped again, and we continued studying. After a few more minutes, she starts up with ear again. I couldn't believe that she wasn't getting the message, so I turned to look up at her with the, "I don't know if I've made myself clear here," speech ready, but she cut me off by looking directly into my eyes and saying, "So, when are you going to make with the jumping of the bones?" And the clueless boy light bulb finally lit up. "Yeah, she got your message the first time, clueless boy. Lol, I hope you two are married now, years later. Lol, mate, how do you fail a perception check this badly?"